There's no denying the fact that throughout the history of cinema, certain films have had an innate ability to impact society. Some films have inspired generations, while others have impacted us emotionally or psychologically. But some films have even managed to predict the future. So stay tuned and don't go away, because today we're looking at times movies predicted the future. So just how exactly have films managed to predict the future? Let's take a look. We'll start with Blade Runner, 1982, directed by Ridley Scott and starring Harrison Ford. Despite being dated, the films offer stunning visuals, a lot of rain, and a ton of neon lights. The film is set in a futuristic Los Angeles in the year 2019, and although not all of this groundbreaking sci-fi film's concepts have come to fruition, some of them certainly have. The three most obvious predictions made by the film that have come true are the spinner or fly car, off-world travel, and head-turning digital billboards. If you've ever been to a major city, then you'll know that digital billboards have become commonplace in today's society, and while flying cars may not yet be available for mass consumption, they do in fact exist. In March of 2021, news broke that Japan had designed, engineered, and built the SkyDrive SD-03, which is the first official flying car to have successfully completed a manned test flight. 1 year after the release of Blade Runner, Canadian writer and director David Cronenberg gave the world a film that is still discussed in film schools around the world, Videodrome, 1983, starring James Wood and the beautiful Debbie Harry. Videodrome tells the story of a programmer at a TV station that specializes in adult entertainment. Searching for the producers of a dangerous and bizarre broadcast, Videodrome is the show within the film and is comparable to our modern-day YouTube. Thankfully, the YouTube we have today doesn't stream shockingly violent and disturbing content like Videodrome, but the film was the first of its kind to give us a futuristic glimpse of what we now call modern-day streaming services. Are there any other films from the 80s that gave us a glimpse into the future? You bet! Let's have a look. Directed by John Badham and starring Matthew Broderick, Ali Sheedy, and John Wood, 1983's hit film War Games tells the story of a young man who finds a back door into a military central computer in which reality is confused. With gameplay possibly starting World War III, the film's protagonist, played by Broderick, is a teenager named David Lightman who accidentally hacks into Joshua, a sentient, self-aware U.S. government defense computer. Today, we'd likely refer to Joshua as artificially intelligent. After being hacked by David, Joshua says his famous line, "Would you like to play a game?" After Joshua initiates a hypothetical combat scenario that almost results in a very real thermonuclear war. And although a World War III-style nuclear war hasn't yet occurred, the film did accurately predict the potential for hackers to interfere with U.S. government systems. Case in point, presidential elections. Another film, The Terminator 1984, from Canadian writer-director James Cameron, has also predicted the future. The film showed us technology that today is becoming a reality. The film showed us automated hunter-killer drones, similar to the ones used by the U.S. military today. The main difference, though, is that drones today are firing missiles and not lasers, and today robots and cybernetics are at the forefront of military research and development. There's no question that certain governments around the world are designing, engineering, and manufacturing robots that can kill and be used in combat. In fact, you may recall back in December of 2020, Iranian officials were furious after one of their top scientists in the defense ministry, Mohsen Farokhzadeh, was assassinated by a satellite-controlled AI robot that was fitted with a machine gun. Stay tuned and don't go away, because we've got more times that movies predicted the future coming your way. Were there any movies from the 60s that predicted the future? Absolutely. The groundbreaking film 2001: A Space Odyssey, 1968, directed by Stanley Kubrick and written by Kubrick and Arthur C. Clarke, is as mesmerizing as it is visually stunning. Today, many of us are used to AI computers such as Siri and Alexa, but Kubrick, who many believe was a genius, predicted the widespread use of artificial intelligence systems back in the 50s and 60s. 2001: A Space Odyssey is chock full of futuristic gadgetry. When people first saw the film in 1968, they were floored and had their minds completely blown. Aside from the gadgets, which are comparable to today's iPads, the film also explores the theme of space tourism, and the concept of space tourism is something that's grown rapidly in the past 2 decades. The ambitious founder of SpaceX, Elon Musk, has vowed to make space travel and tourism a reality. society. And so has billionaire and multi-hyphenate Richard Branson, the CEO of Virgin Galactic. Fast forward nearly a decade later to 1976, and director Sidney Lumet gives the world a film called Network, which tells the story of a television network cynically exploiting a deranged former anchor's ravings and revelations about the news media for its own profit, but finds that his message may be difficult to control. In the film, a famous news anchor flips out on live TV and rants about societal problems, inadvertently becoming a ratings sensation. Later, when the ratings drop back down, someone at the network comes up with a plot to assassinate him to boost ratings. Today, networks will literally do anything to boost ratings. In some countries, it has even been alleged that TV news people have even committed crimes, including murder, in order to boost ratings. What about films from the 1990s? Have any of them accurately predicted the future? Indeed, some of them have. Demolition Man 1993 is one such film, directed by Italian director Marco Brambilla and starring Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes. Demolition Man tells the story of a police officer brought out of suspended animation in prison to pursue an old, ultra-violent nemesis who is loose in a non-violent future society. You've seen the film, you'll recall that toilet paper was replaced by the 3 seashells, although the film never tells us how they work, and today, of course, toilet paper is still widely used in nearly every region of the world. But one prediction that the film got right was the self-driving car. Self-driving cars do exist, and they are being used on public roads today. So that's one future prediction that Demolition Man definitely got right. Next up, who could forget Paul Verhoeven's film Starship Troopers 1997? The film tells the story of humans in a fascist, militaristic future waging war with giant alien bugs. In the film, we saw the power of interactive TV to influence people's decisions. The interactive TV was used in gas stations, airports, and pretty much any other location that could help reach and influence the general public. Throughout the film, this interactive TV service used the slogan, "Would you like to know more?" to promote state propaganda and the military campaign being waged against the deadly insect invaders. Today, modern media and news services around the world use this exact same style of messaging to proliferate propaganda and other agendas. So, which other films have predicted the future? The Net 1995, directed by Irwin Winkler and starring Sandra Bullock, may seem dated if you were to watch it today, but it truly predicted technological issues of the future. The film tells the story of a computer programmer who stumbles upon a conspiracy, putting her life and the lives of those around her in great danger. In recent years, we've been bombarded with media messaging regarding identity theft, and The Net 1995 tried to warn us about what can happen when data thieves steal our private information. When people first saw The Net back in '95, most felt that it was extreme and hard to believe, but today, modern audiences who see the film aren't shocked at all, because today we're fully aware of the catastrophic damage that identity theft and data breaches can do. You can destroy lives, ruin people's financial futures, and even put a country's national security at risk. So the harmful consequences of identity and data theft predicted in Winkler's The Net have undoubtedly come true. Next up, Ghost in the Shell 2017 gave us a glimpse into some radical technology, specifically thermoptic suits, which gave Scarlett Johansson the opportunity to blend into her environment and become invisible. Today, a team of Japanese scientists are working on something called a retroreflective projection technology, or RPT for short. Japanese scientists have been able to create a prototype code using RPT fabrics that enables the user or wearer to become invisible and blend into their surrounding environment, just like the one worn by Johansson in Ghost in the Shell. Pretty cool, right? Finally, there's no question that some films can be powerful and have a lasting impact on us and society as a whole. Whether the writers and directors are telling a popcorn-style story purely to entertain us, or a serious Oscar-caliber film with a deep and profound message that touches our soul, now you know that sometimes movies even have the power to tell the future. That's a wrap for today's video, folks. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe.